Okay.
So the other case that we worked on in the book Extraction is on bauxite mining. Bauxite is what is used to produce aluminium, and Quebec is one of the hubs for the production of aluminium in the world. This is because the electricity is very cheap here. It's produced through hydroelectricity, and so a lot of companies that want to transform bauxite into aluminium just settle down here. And in the case that we documented, it was about a Montreal-based company called Alcan, which is now called Rio Tinto Alcan because it got bought by a British company. And Alcan had been in Orissa, in the state of Orissa, which is on the eastern side of India, for several years, I believe something like 7 or 8 years, and tried to push through a project of bauxite mining, but also of smeltering in this region in Orissa. And this region is inhabited by tribal people, as they call them in India, and they also opposed the project very intensely. And so the project couldn't really move on, and even 3 people were killed in the opposition movement, and this means that there was already when our journalist went there to document this case, there was already a history going on, and the journalist came back with. The journalist came back with a very clear idea of what was going on in the field and wrote about it. And what is interesting is that just after our report was released in the book Extraction, the mining company Alcan retrieved from the project, decided to let it go because of the risk that was caused to the image of the company, because they were very afraid that it would get out there that there were some human rights abuses going on there in the state of Orissa, because of the fact that they wanted to push through the project against the will of the people. So they found it too risky and decided just to get out of the deal. The problem now is that another company took the share that the Canadian company had in the project, so there is a chance that it still gets developed. It's harder now, but there is still a chance. So we need to keep our eyes on these mining projects, even though they're not led by Canadian companies or companies in the countries where we are situated. And this is a challenge because obviously we have more impact if we try to follow cases on our companies and in our countries, and where we have access to shareholder meetings, where we can meet with the company people, where we can put some pressure on the government and so on. One of the big challenges for me is the increase of mining projects led by Chinese companies, more and more increasingly. And this is where I would say that in the long term we have to keep an eye on.